Good morning to all of you. I hope you're doing well out there, wherever you are. Whatever time of the day it is, this morning. Beautiful morning here in awe-inspiring Alta, Norway. Per is here with me in the background to hold space and anchor for this session. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi everyone, this is Per, also known as Asurana's twin flame. We love you. Thank you for joining us for this webinar.
Thank you, my love. Okay, let us start with the presentation. This is a prose that Mother Earth brought through. The Mother Earth that all of you loved in the times of the Dreamtime Ascension School, or DAS, that we all relished with nature. And many of us went out into nature, and we felt the beauty and the joy and the oneness of being in other realities that are sacred to all of us. In that time period of ascension, and all of you ascended whether you were a part of the school or not, derivation of thought form, it was really true that nature provided this beautiful space for us to go and rest. Every time you went out on a walk, or you connected with the birds or the bees, or the trees or the lakes and the rivers, or the sea, you just felt wonderful. You renewed and you were refreshed, and you hoped so much to live there forever. And suddenly, nature had an abyss where she needed to retract to revive herself, or do something else, and could no longer support human reality. Many of us have been struggling ever since that human realities are not beautiful always in the current derivation of existence that we dance within, and about how sick it can be unless you can get into the sway of the divine. Then suddenly, as you love and bless, everything changes. Take a moment now, each of you that has joined us, to take a deep breath and inhale and exhale, and choose for this moment to love all. Bless me, bless you, bless each that you know, bless the birds in the trees and all the natural worlds that you have loved through time. Bless all the spirits that descend to join you today and anchor space for a major healing from the planetary Tao, plus the Tao of your heart, plus the Tao of your heart. Bless the Tao of the planet and each Tao that join you to the land where you live, and be aware with the truth that all is beautiful when you're in the right reality and not the wrong one. Some of the things that we have been witnessing the past several years are very sad for the human existence. For somehow in all of it, many things are going awry as nature withdrew as a reality keeper for humanity. All of a sudden, the reality of the media set foot into the existences of most. The media used to be a very interesting reality that people participated in. When they went to a live stage play, they were pulled into a beautiful reality where people could share in the story of the actors and the actresses, or the music and the stage gob, and the entertainment in the laughter or the storyline that maybe brought them into a state of emotion. It was one reality. The reality, the media production was one reality based. People 100 years ago lived in two realities. They lived in the reality that they knew at home or at work, and sometimes went into another reality at a stage production, or a pub, or a market, or something external to the home or the work, and it was a two reality world, and people did okay in a two reality world. Then the black and white movies showed up, and suddenly there was another reality, and those that paid their 10 cents to go to the movie theater during the Depression, they ended up now in three realities instead of just two, but that was only at the theater. When they went home, they went out of that reality, unless they thought about the movie or the script, so they go back and forth between home and the marketplace and into the movie reality. The more they went into the movie reality, the more they splintered, and the movie reality grew and grew and grew. It grew so big that the media industry is as big as it is today, consuming the focus of humanity almost everywhere you go. The screens are up at the bars and the pubs or the restaurants because people can't be separate from the television reality, or perhaps they don't exist anymore at all. Those of you that started to ascend said, I don't like this media reality. And you put away the television, and you put away the movies, and maybe you even put away the novel. Then you read spiritual material and focused on that, and learned to focus inward on yourself instead. And suddenly, nature was there and said, well, come into our reality and be as one again, rather than splintered in 50 television shows you watch and 100 movies that you've seen in the last few years, and all the magazines or books that you read, which splinter people into less and less of a reality, of one, and you healed from that. Many of you that focused that way and brought yourself back together from all of the media and focus that you had been interested in at another time in your life. If you're still interested in the media, then we tell you to be aware that you split in reality every time you go watch a television show or a movie or other focuses such as reading a newspaper or the magazines will do that to you too. You can go there for a time and experience that and remember to come back into the oneness of you, and then you'll be better and maybe not depressed or oppressed or anxious about whatever you saw or read, and maybe that's a little bit better for you. There were productions like the BBC when it originally started, with its plays like Queen Elizabeth I and all these long series that Asarana also entertained herself with in her youth. They continue with the stage play derivation of reality, so you watch the BBC play and you be in one place and not 25. But you go into your average television show now on whatever comic comedian network or whatever is going on, and Asarana has been out of it for close to 30 years now, so she doesn't even know the names of the shows that people do watch anymore. They can splinter you into upwards of 25 realities at once. We ponder what it is about the media that does this, and it's not just electricity. It is, in a deep sense, a truth of everything that life is meant to be, in a reality that brings you joy. And the movie industry wants everybody to be happy or sad or angry or shocked at the violence that you're witnessing. So they have all these sub realities for anxiety or love or care space or romance or sexuality or shock or abuse or feeling something else, bored or embarrassed. Or you could put hundreds of words on it. They splintered the reality of the movies to have all these emotions so that people could experience them as they watch this film, this living play of something that isn't real at all. People don't sometimes know the difference between the movie reality and the real reality that we live within, because for the body it watches the movie and it thinks that that was a life experience on some nerve ending condition of you. And it was Ramtha that used to say you don't know the difference between the movies you watch and your life anymore. As you watch all these movies and it's triggered karma and it's triggered issues in you, and it says if you have those life experiences and your nerves believe that this is so, and as such you're carrying all this baggage from watching media that triggers you from one end to the other, to be in a lot of different realities that maybe are nurturing or healing or fostering of your spiritual journey. This is so now in the marketplace. You go to these big superstores and they're all over the world. I mean, even 10 years ago when I made my way down to Australia, I was shocked at the big grocery market bin that showed up with all of these stores. At least they had a fresh bakery and a few other things we don't normally get. But all the same, I realized that even in places that perhaps were very unusual in their space of trying to hold sovereign businesses, they were going the big route of the media giants of the marketing industry of food and whatever else they can try to sell you. And so you go into your average grocery store and you're inside of maybe 50 to 90 realities all at once. You walk down the aisles and you experience the boxed grain reality, and then the tomato sauce reality, and then you experience the vegetable reality that's usually a little bit more whole. And so if you want to feel better, go hang out with the veggies at the market. Then you get down to the vitamin industry now. And this may shock you, but you go into a big vitamin store and you may be inside of 300 realities all at the same time of humans that have invented herb lines or tincture lines or vitamin lines, and they want you to buy it. And so you enter that reality and you end up buying this product or that product, and you don't even maybe know why, and your body may think, oh, I need that. I need that because you're in that reality of this product line or that product line, and then you get the very thing maybe you don't really need without discerning what reality you're in. Therefore, we will advise you when you go shopping, bring yourself into the reality of you first, along with your Tao, and then muscle test as you go down the market shelves what it is you really need to feed yourself in this time of emerging light. Put your body in a reality of feeding itself and giving it to itself what it really needs to stay healthy, alive, vibrant, and happy in this time period. There are many foods that mind bend, and you may not be aware of what you crave and how it then makes you either anxious or depressed or spacey, and you're just feeding the mind the wrong food. Muscle testing is one way to discern simply how to do this. There are several ways to muscle test, but this one is the easiest in my experience. Put your thumb and your index finger together and you link it together like this, as shown on the screen in front of you. Make sure that if you're a man, you're in your male gender energies, and if you're a female, you're in your female energy system. Then you test your name, and I'm a Serrano today. If you can't pull your fingers apart, that's a yes in muscle test. Now I say, if I'm Johnny today, my fingers would pull apart. This is a no in muscle testing. As you go about your reality inside of you, you will begin to understand maybe what's best for you as you go through the grocery shopping system each day or week that you need to provide for yourself, or even as you go out to a restaurant and decide what you're going to eat. Now, restaurants are interesting because in times past, And going back 30 years, each restaurant had a reality of its own, and people were attractive to the restaurant that serves the reality that they felt within themselves. Whereas at the turn of the century, all restaurants had the same reality, so it didn't matter which restaurant you went to. The reality was one of food that was prepared for you out of care of many angels and spirits that wanted to give to humanity through food. It was a pre-awakening cycle, so the spirits of the world were gearing up to feed humans, to give birth to little ones that were going to come in and be more aware. So all food, when it was served out, and even in the grocery stores in that time period, or in the marketplace of places that had live markets yet. And I experienced one of those, in Greece, and I thought that was awesome to go to a marketplace where each shopkeeper had the bread or the vegetables or the fruit or the fish, and they come out into the middle of the market and hold up their fish and yell in Greek about some special sale going on for the day or whatever else they had to say. Or they held the loaf of bread up and said, "This was on sale," and they screamed it in the middle of the market stall. And I go, wow, this is like a turn of the century dream still playing about the marketplace that I don't see in many countries at all. I didn't understand exactly what I was looking at, except Spirit took me to this market to roam around on a day off with my friend, and I was mesmerized with it. It felt very, very caring, almost like taking a walk by the river of the lake, and that is the way the marketplace used to be, perhaps 100 years ago, until these super mega shops started opening up in the 50s and 60s, and so on and into present time, which splintered that reality. The angels and all the things that came in to caress humanity through food and through the gifts that they might share it amongst the bee traders or the carpet makers or the clothing makers or whatever was there also vanished. Nowadays, you go into the reality of the supermarket and you feel drained because there is nothing given at all anymore on the part of spirit, even amongst the vegetables, unless you're lucky enough to go into the farmer's market and find a little spirit and care from the land yet to show up and tell you a little bit something about the love of the nurturing of the divas of the plant kingdom who want to still honor or bless and give something back. And so your organic market stands, if you're lucky enough to go to the farmer's market, they still operate often in the one dream paradigm of the Greek marketplace or other marketplace that still may exist all over the world. And there you can still have a little bit of a flavor of something that cares. Spirit often descends into the farmer's market and blesses and honors and tries to emulate the journey that once was there in support of all humans. So as you adventure in your world, be aware that you want to stay in the reality of you and not in the reality of all these splintered creations that are pseudo realities trying to get you to buy what you really don't want to buy, or do maybe what you really don't want to do in this life of yours. How do you do that? See, many of you may be already existing in 10 to 40, maybe even 50 realities at once, and you wonder why life is confusing, and perhaps you don't know where you need to go or be, or what guidance is really useful to take you into the next stream of your life in this time period. And so we want you to nail yourself down into the realities that bring you back to you today. Realities are gate-oriented. So if you were psychic, you would see these gates. And gates are very interesting. They open and they shut, and sometimes they let spirit through, and sometimes they let something else through that you really don't want to have near you anymore anyway, because what comes through can make you more anxious or might bend you into another state of being that really isn't helpful to you. So I want you to shudder all the realities away from you that are not truthful to your Tao, who is coming in to aid you with this experience today. Realities are very, very unnerving if they're violent or abusive or judgmental or trying to somehow harvest something from you. And a lot of times when a reality of that nature opens up, the body suddenly trembles and feels scared, and you don't know why it scared you. You just know that you are. And if you're gifted in some way, maybe you shut that reality away and kick out the forces that rolled through it. Then suddenly you feel better, or you go for a walk by the lake, or out into the street, into the trees where those realities are shut because they don't belong in the natural world reality that you once loved as an ascending human. And so many times you will find your realities change or shift as you go into nature. Also, taking a drive down the highway is another way to shutter all your reality shut that don't harmonize or resonate with you. Now with your Tao, we would like you to permanently shut that which does not serve your particular path in life journey at this time. There are ways of permanently shutting reality gates that are not of use for you. And this is very helpful because it's very confusing at this time period to be in realities of others. And so we're going to speak to that too this morning because the realities of others are getting ever so much more invasive than they ever were 4 years ago. 4 years ago, there was a space in sound manifestation. Now realize that ascension was about sound dreaming, and you built your sound within to a charge in a magnificent flourish. This is who I am, and this is where I'm going, and this is where I want my life to be. This is the beauty of who I am. This is what I believe about my reality. And it had this beautiful sound. And then suddenly light was launched. Light works in different kinds of sounds. It's not this big percussion of music. It's more like tinkerbells and flutes and chimes and delicate sounds of angels and delicate sounds almost like a lullaby that light functions within. And in that you may have felt like you lost your charge of knowing who you are and where you need to be next. It happened almost in a blink of an eye as you started to light motion instead of resound in your ascension, and you made this journey from sound to light. In light, suddenly people were confused, and they started charging into one another's reality to a point that some of you may have felt quite consumed or lost in other people's truth and grew into a place of saying, well, who am I in all of this? Now, not all of you perhaps had that experience, but in some cases it's true. The more public interest that you hold in this job of life, for example, if you work in a marketplace or you work in a place where a lot of people come in and out of your circumference of affluence, the more likely you are to be confused about who you are. Therefore, we would like you to shut all realities to all others at this time. Even your lover, even your best friends, even your parents or your children or whoever lived with you. Shut all of these realities down and let yourself, for this moment, be in the silence of you. Now, your Tao will say to you at this time of your truth in emerging light, you really only need to operate in 4 realities. One is a reality that's just for you when you meditate and you go deep and you listen to your truth and you listen to your Tao and you listen to your Tao and you listen to all the things that you think is beautiful in a space of you. Now I'm going to put another picture up here. See where we're going here. Ah, this is a nice one. In the space of you, you reflect you. You reflect the sky of you, the mountain of you, the nature of you, the truth of you, the Tao of you, the Tao of you, the angels of your archetype, and all the forces to come into interplay in the truth of you. In the mirror of you, you understand who you are in relation to others, and others are just an interplay of an internal play that you have going on inside of you. So you have this play, this wheel of characters that is part of the you of you of you. Each person that is attracted into your life, whether they're a lover or a friend or someone else that you find beautiful as you go through your journey through time, each one of them has a script that's also related to the play and the wheel of characters in the you of you of you. If you have a nasty character out there that gives you a hard time and you can't stand, sooner or later as you explore the you of you of you go into that character. You forgive it, you love it, and it either changes or it goes away. And that sick person leaves your life and you have edited your play, your internal play, your internal reality of you, of you, of you, of that character. You've tossed it out and something else comes in that's kinder and gentler, that's a reflection of your realization over someone who's an opposite or ugly, and what you needed to forgive and love in order to change that script. When you change that script, if they can't change, they will not remain and is the quagmire of the mirror of you. Everything is a mirror of something you have deep inside of you that needs to shift in order for your life to change on the outside of your experience. You will only really understand what it is you need to forgive if you can sit in the reality of only you. It's very confusing if the you of you and the center point of you is invaded by others. And so if in this place that you are coming to right now in the you of you, you are invaded by gates or forces that don't belong there. Have your Tao extract each force and have each gate shut now permanently. Because this private space is your sacred sanctuary. It's where you belong to understand you and your life and what it is you need to do to change you, and then allow your life script or your direction in life to change. And from here, you discern with your Tao and Tao what actions to take in the dreams of your life that are related to the internal change that you have caused, and editing the scripts of the cast of characters that surround you. For now, maybe you will need to change jobs or go into another direction about a partnership that isn't working, or do something about your family, or make it the choice to move if you're complete with the region that you're living in. You won't really be able to discern what it is you need to do unless the you of you is silent of anything else but your Tao and Tao communications, or angelic communications, or communications that are supportive of this journey of your life. People do invade. Even lovers or wives or husbands can invade the private space of you. So we want you to close those gates today too, if you're in partnership or if you have children, because they can invade too. And then you will know better who you are along with your Tao and Tao and Spirit. People can be very invasive. And so in your meditation time, remember to close all gates with your Tao to anything that has invaded your personal space. Then you will begin to know who you are and what you're really trying to do more greatly, and what direction to take in your life more greatly. Now, your Tao and Tao will take action, and sometimes there are those that invade that you really have to forgive in order to shut the gate that they enter the private space of you within. If there is someone like that, if you close your eyes, they may come to your mind, and take a moment to forgive them and bless them and love them, and let them know that the private space of you is not a welcome space for them to motion into anymore. There are always those that may cross your path that may show up this way too. And so after you close everything down, if you see one or two that won't go away, be aware it's someone to forgive, so that you can find where it is you need to be inside of you. It's a beautiful journey to understand you, because in this space is a quietness. And if you close your eyes, you will see it as a vision. This is your inner temple. And for some, the temple may look like a cave. For others, it may look like a beach or a mountainside scene, or someplace else you feel is sacred unto you. Whatever it is, this is where you access your mansion of self. Your mansion of self is the sacred space through which you learn and grow into you. There are many rooms in your mansion to explore, but we're not focused on that today. We want to introduce you to how you access your mansion of self in the you of you by letting go of all others that want to invade that private space and take away from your capacity to understand you and hear your Tao and Tao very clearly in this life of yours. If there are many gates, it may take upwards of an hour to clear out this space called you of you. But be patient with this as we continue to talk, because it is the first healing that the Tao of Earth wishes to offer you as an aspirant on the path of self-realization. She says you can't realize anything if you can't be in the you of you alone and hear your own guidance clearly. There are many undercurrents of reasons as to why this is so. Much of it having to do with media space, because the media space grew in the 1950s to invade the you of you, to capture the attention of humanity on mass levels due to possible fame, fortune, and then all the advertising that went along with it to sell products of things that people really didn't need to buy and earn a lot of money in a marketplace that has grown to the roof as stripping people of more dream than you can imagine. As a result, many of you upon the path have very little, if anything. That's very sad, but it's time for you to begin to realize what you need to cease to give your dreams away to the marketplace and retrieve what is yours and actualize dreams that may be wounded otherwise by letting go of the need to be in so many fragmented realities at once. When you're all in these fragmented realities, you lose dream, you lose life force, you lose care space, you lose the very thing that makes being a human, being joyful and blessed and peaceful and aware and astute and understanding of others and yourself. And then out of that, the ability to forgive and find compassion for others can grow and emerge. We have many things to say to you today as you come back to this peaceful place of you and you and you. That is the mirror of you in the world of your life that is showing you the areas of yourself that need to heal. For each person in your mirror, whoever they are when they show up, is a reflection of something you need to heal deep inside of you. And as you do, your perspective of them may change to one of more compassion or understanding. There isn't a human on this plane of reality that isn't injured. You're all wounded birds. As Sarana realized this within the last 6 months, and now she's a wounded bird too. From emotional charges from family and things that she experienced over time that made her feel less than cared for or divine, and you're all in the same boat. So in the mirror are often difficult people that you have to figure out or understand why they are there in your life and why they make you miserable or make you feel less than beautiful or make you feel anything at all. They're only there because in the mirror of you, you're wounded deep within and the you of you. So each person that's a problem for you is related to a deep wound within the core of you. We want to offer you a blessing from the angel realms today to allow that which is in the you of you that is so deeply wounded that maybe you don't receive all the fullness of love that Spirit would like to give to you. This can heal now due to an intervention of your own hearts and of your Tao and Tao that will begin to erase the original memories that fragmented you, possibly at birth. Okay, we're gonna change pictures here again. Each of you is like a gracious flower trying to bloom in the sun of your life. Each of these photos was a message from nature to be in a reality that was beautiful and at peace and blossom of you if you could in the sunlight of your life. There are many realities that nature captures them in healing incantations to help humans remember something that perhaps you have forgotten through time. In the you of you is a flower that needs to blossom and bloom. Sometimes the wounds are so deep that the flowers fold and fade long before they bloom, where they rise to the sun and they can't unfold, and then wither away and perish because the love of you somehow was destroyed in a reality, maybe in the entrance into this world. And this is an opportunity for you to erase that memory and let yourself begin to bloom in a whole new direction maybe you didn't think was possible in this life. We have many blessings for you today, and please open up and be willing to receive the gifts of the planetary Tao and all the angels and archangels and the interplay of your archetype and the interplay of the Tao and Tao of your heart to foster you into you. In the you of you are all the wounds. And so when you find yourself in the meditation stance of yourself, to sit quietly and listen, you may hit those wounds and start to cry. It's okay to cry, and as the tears pass, Tao will take action to erase the pain in the original wound of the you of you, so that you can overcome it. And in time, as this continues, there will be no more wounds left. Some invade the you of you, not wanting to confront your own pain, and that perhaps not useful to you really and truly, because then the painful scripts that other people reflect in their belligerence or their anger or their stance of dejection or whatever they are in this life of yours can't really mend. And so taking the time to go into you of you is very, very important in this time period of emerging realization and light motion and letting those wounds fade. Tao action will erase them as you confront them and forgive them deep within you. In time, you cleanse it all and you grow to be more peaceful with who you are and who each is in your life that is less than kind will either change or fade because it will no longer reflect or mirror the damage to the you of you. And so we bless this space of yours to find the center of you. In the center of you, the center point of view also aligns, and the center point has a 0 point under the feet. So let's bring this all the way under your feet. Has a flux point near the abdomen. The end point is above the head. and the center point is way below the feet in the sun of yourself, which is a ball of light that you transfuse within. And the ball of light brings in rays of light into the small transfusion body, illuminating the physical light stream around and through each cell. We're going to have you focus upon this now so we can begin to infuse you up to another octave of light in the physical. This is a very gentle infusion, and we planned this for this day to carry you forward upon your path and bring you into another space where within the illumination of your heart and mind you can understand something else about yourself as a divine aspirant. We care for you always. We care for the many things that we always know that there's a need to be at peace too. And so we bless you with sacred peace offerings of an ashram notion of the divine. Long ago, in the place of humanity, there were cycles of mass focus of realization, and when we say mass, it may have only been 100,000 humans, not 8 billion as are currently incarnated. There were 100,000, and they may have been scattered in areas far and wide from one another. But their goal was to understand the world of spirit, and they didn't have this mesmerizing electrological society where everything is outward focused. They tuned inward and maybe had simple lives. Some of them learned to manifest, like the yogis of India, objects out of thin air in their focus and created rearrangements of the land into another status of reality that better served them. If you were to adventure to the Mesa of Colorado, the Anasazi actually created the infrastructure of the rock apartments that they would climb ladders into with their minds. People don't know that really much today. They just think, well, oh, it formed that way naturally. No, it didn't. Their minds focused on it collectively and rearranged it into a mountainside apartment structure. Humans are that capable from within the you of you of you if you focus in that direction together. And that's an amazing thing to do if you can. But today, realizing humans are way too far apart, you see, and that's a problem too, in our opinion. And so we gather you remote through these webinars. Now we're gonna bring a torch, Ginger. And the torch, Ginger, is about life force or the will to dream. The will to dream is beautiful when it is truly succinct in your heart and mind. So the first reality we brought you to is a you of you of you. The second reality we bring you into is for your dreaming, or your life force, or your will to succeed or live or do what it is you're here to express and foster in this life journey of yours. There should be only 4 realities that you participate in, and if you bring yourself back to 4 realities, you will be much more centered in everything that you do. So the second reality is your will to dream, or your will to foster the things that you really would like to upon the physical plane. Is an outward focusing reality, whereas the reflective I am, that I am, the you of you is an inward reality. In the outward reality, as your motion into it, you will want to engage with people or go out and party or celebrate or have a meal with a friend or make love to your lover or sing and dance and play in some other way. But it's also a reality that you may foster your creative expression if they're artistic or expressive in a written form or expressive in a verbal form as Sarana in her focus of teaching, or it could be any other endeavor that you may choose to aspire to as you work in this life of yours. This is the reality of outward focused dreaming that's Tao oriented. Your inner reality is Tao oriented. So when you go out into the you of you, that's a Tao organized reality. In the outward reality is Tao organized. In the exterior dance of dreaming, your Tao dreams through time. Tao dreaming isn't new, but it is a useful focus for you to adapt to in this life of yours. When Asarana adventures out of her home and she quit the inward dream of listening to a lot of review of her existence, in the past 6 months she goes and Tao dreams. So she gets in her car and she's going to Tao dream her journey to the market or out to lunch with a friend or wherever she's going for that day. Or as she gets on the computer to write, she's Tao dreaming her written material that will hopefully inspire and help others with information they wouldn't know otherwise. Whatever you do, remember to Tao dream it as you get into the car or you do anything active in this life of yours. You will discover that your dreams align when you choose to Tao dream, and your Tao dream asserts itself to foster interactions with others that's near the truth of you and all that you feel inside you in this life of yours. Life doesn't trip up as much in Tao dreaming. You know the plane is on time, the luggage arrives, you get to your destination on time. The work system works. People get along better as you Tao dream your day, or you get along better with your boss. Life unfolds more graciously when you Tao dream. Tao dreaming is an active exchange between you and your Tao as you assert, I need this in my life, and your Tao says, okay, we'll try to arrange that dream now. What do you need to introspect over to have that dream in the you of you that blocks it from manifesting due to some old wound or something you need to heal within you? So then you interplay between the exterior dream of this is what I want to create or cause in my life or envision for my future, and the inside of you that may need to heal something to allow that to unfold. As you go back and forth between daydreaming about you and what you're healing or what this life of yours are reflecting to you, and the exterior is Tao dreaming what it is you would like to accomplish or envision for your life. You will achieve those visions through time as that's your Tao will. So what your Tao would like to do for you today is adjust the Tao reality of you to desyncopate from all the other exterior realities that invade and consume. Sometimes they abuse and maybe they even confuse you as to the path you should sincerely take in the dreams of your life ahead. If you're facing a job change, if you're facing a change of partnership, if you're facing a change in the region to live, if you're facing a major change of this nature, all of these things are how action-oriented dreams. Sometimes people can invade and suddenly you don't know where you really need to be or where to go. Sometimes you make a mistake because you can't get clarity and you move into the wrong partnership, or you move into the wrong house, or you move into the wrong region, or maybe even the wrong job. Then suddenly you realize what it is you did. You're living somebody else's dream. Oh geez, that's beauty. They wanted that dream, or that's my grandmother's. She wanted that dream, or that's someone else, and it's not really true to you in the you of you of you. If the dreams you're dreaming aren't true to you, or if you're in a non-dream issue where dreams just aren't aligning, then it's time to close and seal all the gates in the second reality to everybody that invades your Tao dreaming, so that you can become succinct at causing and creating those things you really wish to and that your Tao wills. There are people in karmic circumstance that can blow your Tao dream away, and some of you may find that you have no Tao reality at all remaining. And if so, this is a Tao and Tao action now to recreate this for you so that your life can begin to align in new directions that are true unto your path and unto your fate and unto everything you're here to learn or understand in this reality of you in an interplay with the rest of the world. If there is some dream you really wanting to bring forward at this time, sit here for a minute and focus upon that with us, with the Tao of the planet and the Tao of the planet and the Tao of your heart and the Tao of your heart. and let us know this is what I really need to bring forward in my life at this time, to be well in my heart and be well in my life and be well with a sense of doing something or fostering something that fulfills me more from within. We are going to strive to help you manifest these as you remember to Tao dream each day and bring yourself to a singular reality of only Tao dreaming and not everybody else's dream that they may want you to be. Family can be very invasive. Mother can say, I need you to be this, and father can say, I need you to be this. Brother or wife or kid, I need you to be this for me. They roll you over with their need, and then all of a sudden, your dream changes to become what they need rather than what you need. That's a very sad status of many things that are going on in this time period. So you need to let the dreams of the most dominant ones in your reality or existence leave too, because dreams should occur in parallel. We're going to go through another picture here of some orchids. Dreams should be like this orchid on a vine, with each one manifesting next to each other, allowing each to bloom into the truth of who you are uniquely unto you. Today, unfortunately, that doesn't often happen because unless you choose to separate greatly from all of those that want to push your dream in one direction or another. Often it is most difficult either in family circumstances or between husbands and wives or with children or people in close living encounters, to where the dream of you ends up somehow shunted somewhere else, and you end up in what they need you to be or become rather than what you and your Tao and Tao need you to become. Therefore, we would like you to embrace this concept of parallel dreaming. Now, parallel dreaming goes two ways because many of you also want to dream on top of other people. I mean, let's face it, we're not innocent folks. Don't you want that man of your life to dress the way you want them to dress? Or don't you want your mother to go away or be here for you or cook for you or whatever she does? And don't you want that daughter of yours or son of yours to behave themselves and be good kids at school? And how much of you is on top of them trying to dream their reality too? See, it's a two-way street. Don't you want your wife or your husband to be this way or that way, and you dream on top of them too? Then nobody knows their own truth either in your circumference of kinship or friendship or soul family, as we would call it. So it's time to stop dreaming on top of others too, because when you dream on top of others, others can dream on top of you. That's the nature of reality. You do it and others do it too. And you cannot be at the effect of it until you quit causing it. So take a moment to assess who you are dreaming on top of right now to make it okay in your world that you need to control them and control their dreams rather than just let them be who they are in their own dream and let you be who you are in your own dream. And Tao dream the exchange into something beautiful and graceful so that everybody can enjoy their existence, you see. We all do it. So in each one that you identify that you dream on top of, you realize you lose dream as you dream on top of people too that could manifest in some other beautiful way that you're not really expecting in your play. And so let's make the choice now to quit dreaming on top of others and let others move off of dreaming on top of you and Tao dream your truth for you. Now there's fear sometimes here because if you don't dream on top of this person, maybe they'll be belligerent or hit you. If you don't dream on top of that person, perhaps you lose your job. Or if you don't dream on top of this person, maybe you lose your spouse because they'll run away. Or if you don't dream on top of this child, perhaps they won't behave, or whatever the issues are within you that you need to look at. So usually there's an undercurrent of fear as to why we dream on top of other people. As you let go of that fear and realize that you'll be okay in your play being you, then you can let go of the need to dream, to control the dreams of others, and then pull yourself into realizing you can dream just for you. Now, dream alignment is a beautiful thing. When you dream in alignment, your dream and their dream work together. You's way and theirs way, and there's heart space, and there's a sense of care. You understand each other, and you allow your truth to be true to you, and their truth to be true to them too. If it's their truth not to be a part of your play, then you let them walk away, and then there's always others that will show up in the dance of life true to you. Then, and maybe not yesterday, that will dance with you anyway. Then there's real freedom in that. There's no freedom in dreaming on top of others or letting others dream on top of you. It's suffocating to your heart space. It hurts the mind too, and that's where mind bend comes from. You might become very aware or have become who mind bends you into anxiety or frustration or whatever it is that they do in the interaction through your day at work or wherever you are in your inner play. That mind bend comes from dreaming on top of you, and be honest with yourself because there are those that you mind bend to and dream on top of. And so you need to give up mind bending others in order to cease to be mind bent into a state of being that isn't well for you or well in your mind. Now there's a difference between forcing the mind bend of another back to sender or letting it go versus mind bending another. So there's an interplay there that we'll explain. If somebody mind bends you and you don't want to participate, you can return the energy system back to them. Often it is a cord of light that literally comes into the cortex and then scrambles your mind waves. And you can take that and push it back. As you push it back, your mind straightens out some, and then you feel better in the world of you. Now, when you mind bend another in a parallel way, an energy system comes from your mind and scrambles theirs, and when you cease to do that, they may feel better and you may relate better through time too. So there's a need to recognize that mind bend comes from dreaming on top of others or having them dream on top of you. It creates all these exchanges of energy and light between two cortexes. Or you can see it amongst major teachers of the world that are guru-oriented. They'll have light cords coming from their cortex onto most of the audience, mind bending them into a reality maybe they wish them to experience and not necessarily true to each individual that may be present. Yogis don't do this, okay? Yogis understand that each needs to be sovereign in the I am of who you are, and they don't participate in that game. So become the yogi of you and cease to dream on top of others or mind bend them, and cease to allow others to mind bend or dream on top of you. You will be much happier in this life of yours. Most misery comes from mind bend. I'm putting some plumeria blossoms up here now. If left just to your own mind waves, you'll be a happy person because in the you of you is a symphony of you, and you enjoy yourself. Most people like themselves better than most everyone else. You can laugh about that, but that's true. Some of you want everyone to be like you. Nobody is, because you're a unique one-of-a-kind expression as a human being destined to realize something. So forget it, give it up. That's the other reason we dream on top of each other, is that you want them to be like you. Or we think if I dream on top of them now, they'll understand my point of view and my reality, rather than understanding that each has their unique perspective that can bloom and be shared. That was a message from this plumeria tree. To let everybody be who they need to be in their life and quit trying to control them or dream on top of them. Let them bloom and be near you or far away or maybe never with you again because that's their truth. And then you'll be happier and they'll be happier and others will show up that caress and bless that make life more interesting in this reality of you. That was their message this day. In that is a huge message about reality sharing too, that often comes out of a need to think that this is what we need to do to be close rather than dreaming in parallel. And so we want to shift your assemblage point today about dreaming in parallel. Now, this is the third reality your Tao and Tao have to foster for you today. It's about dreaming in parallel. When you dream in parallel, you are who you are in the center point of you. You're in your Tao dream, but you engage. So this is an engagement reality where you share of yourself, you speak your truth, you love, you bless, you listen, you try to understand. You try to be there as a friend or as somebody dear, and in that you want to experience who they are in this moment of their lives. What are they experiencing? What is sick for them, or what was well, or what is happier, what is sad, what is emotional, or what is not? And then you have that same opportunity to do that too. Human communications are really screwed up in this cycle. How many do you know that sit down and want to know who you are? Did your mother or father ever really want to know who you were? Or did they just want to dream on top of you so you would be the good little kid? Did you rebel and become a nerd or bookworm or whatever you had to do to be a teenager that could flow away from this madness of your family reality? Parent and children communication are at an all-time sickness, and we're very sad as Spirit and Tao and Tao to witness that, because real communication is to understand another person's point of view. Perhaps you make that your goal too as you get together with others. I mean, where are they at? What is really true unto them or their hearts? Are they there for you too? And are you really there for them too? Are you really present to be there for them? Many people aren't. They're out to lunch and they're nowhere near the body. And they may say kind things, but they're not really there and present to say hello, to acknowledge who you are, to acknowledge what it is that you have to share, or acknowledge the beauty and joy that you're attempting to give or give back in a shared space of your togetherness. So this next reality is through sincere presence with others that can be present in a care space of understanding one another through time. Now some are lucky and have partnerships like this or friendships like this. And yet, you're probably also aware of others that you've known where that can't happen maybe ever. Although sometimes in Tao dreaming, it can create a poignant moment with a parent or a child, or somewhere you've been rather distant from, where suddenly they have an opportunity to share who they are and you share who you are, and they are understood and you're understood. So Tao dream your interaction in this shared space and witness how they change with others, where you're present and they're present, and suddenly there's something else that blooms that's beautiful between you, where you understand one another. Then you're happy and they're happy, and you feel more fulfilled in your relationship in this time period of your life. That's really the main message of the plumeria blossom here, and this third reality that you are going to work with your Tao and Tao and dreaming for the beautiful exchanges within your life. We're going to move on to another picture here. And this is the Lima Huli Garden in Kauai. It is an old taro patch that is really, really beautiful. And it is a place that maybe the last generation of Hawaiians had a chance to live from the land until they were finally removed from their beautiful estuary. It became a national botanical park. But in this message, it's be at one with the tundra of you. So this last dream that your Tao and Tao put you in, that you can Tao dream, is about the planet itself. That you have a relationship to the planet, and it has a relationship to you. You have a planet actually inside of you as an archetype type of expression of being on this earth. So the planet that you witness and you love and you care for, that you share in nature, is really the planet of you projected onto nature. Many find sacred space in nature and sacred space in the world of you, or in adventuring into the planet of you. The planet of you is there to inspire you into the larger threshold of light motion that you are here to transfuse within. So in the planet of you is the capacity to rise up in light, in a reality that rises up in light and allows you to transfuse up beyond your grievances or strife, and diffuse what is negative out of your field and grow into more happiness or joy each day of your life. Sometimes it is easier to transfuse in nature but many of you may do so simply by fostering your life, and your Tao will periodically put you into the planet of you to let you transfuse up and around and out and through what it is that you're trying to release in this life of yours that's bothering you. The planet of you is a beautiful place to share into as you go to a park that you really enjoy and motion in there in the joy of all the kingdoms that may be present in the beauty and the grace of the physical world that is here to be experienced if you choose to venture out into it. The planet of you is marred by cityscapes. Often when you go into the city, it's like a polluted, toxic world of you, possibly, unless there's some grand building that's all glorious and it's light and it shimmers with its glass window panes. And it's maybe got a beautiful atrium entrance or something. You go there and have a meal inside a cityscape, and suddenly you're in the beautiful planet of you in a city. It can happen there too, and often those types of structures do transfuse, and somehow they recollect the light motion of long ago of a society called Atlantis that had high rises and apartments that motion light and beautiful and gracious to experience and delight in inside and out. So it isn't always in nature that you may explore the planet of you. It can be in the cityscape, and perhaps you map it out to be this place or that place that you like to roam, and it makes you feel gracious and allows you to transfuse and then feel better in you. There are always those places in each region that are light and gracious and beautiful to behold. That is what the reality of the planet of you is for. In the planet of you, you can also access the I am of you. Now, in the you of you, there is an I am of you too, and that is centrifugal to knowing your internal reality and who you are in relation to all others. In the world of you is the I am that I am that I am, a beautiful one of the one, seeking to understand my truth. I am that I am, the sacred human on the divine path, trying to understand what divine love and care are and needs in this life of mine. I am that I am, the one who learns to dream in light rather than darkness, and fear to get myself out of my plight and have a beautiful day after all, even if I've confronted something difficult within myself in the moment of today. I am that I am beautiful as the tundra that I witnessed in the beauty of nature. I am beautiful, and that is what a planet of your reality does. It allows your prose, your incantation, poetry to have meaning to your word. So as you go into the sacred space of the planet of you that is the time that perhaps you pick your favorite prose that a Sarana has posted on her website and put them up on your refrigerator and read them off for the day and say, this is what the word of me is going to be like today and not something else. And that's what prose are for. They are transfigurative keys for incantations to let you feel divine in the word of you. Many people like to jam up the word of you, and that we want to explain how to undo. Therefore today we want to unjam up the word of you. We're not sure what it is, but in the natural word ascension fostering, where we love to share and dance and play with nature, we entered their word, and so did many others. So you went into the natural world, and there were many others there, and they may still be in the world of you. All these other people that have ventured in their ascension journey into the natural world, and somehow you encompass them too, as if they were a part of you too. As if they were a part of the world of you too. So it's time to kick out of the world of you everybody else, for this is your private space to understand the nature of yourself within the planet of you, and the planet as she exists in the beauty of herself too. When others are there, the natural world of you begin to dim or go gray, and your happiness fades, and many of you who are suffering from depression may discover that your planet of you is a mess. It may take some time to repair it and heal it, but it is possible, so that you find that joy and happiness as you roam through nature, attuning to the planet of you. And so allow all the others to fade and your Tao and Tao to recast this reality of you, so that you can know yourself in the natural world and highlight of the planet of yourself. Now we have one last picture here that we are going to put up. This is from another botanical garden in Maui, and it captures the need to find the path of you alone for you. When you put all four realities together, that which is the inner world that is the mirror of you, and the outer world of the life force of dreaming for you, and the planet of you, and the reality where you engage with others as soul family. You have the path of you. The path of you is a combination of all four realities that you can flow in unison in certain times of your life where you experience the wholeness, or the oneness of the journey of the realizing human. And in that, you know that it's beautiful that you walk this path. It is an important journey, and you have come to accomplish something within yourself, and you have come to understand something important about the nature of humanity, or the nature of your reality, or the nature of others, or the nature of the planet itself. In that moment, you understand your path in the intricacies of this journey that you call your life. And any understanding of your path, there is an acceptance or an embracing of everything that has been in your life, no matter how difficult, and everything that will be and necessary to bring you to this point of knowing you. And so we leave you with that concept and understand that your Tao and Tao dream it this way. That periodically you come to a crescendo within your path of realization, of suddenly motioning into what you would call another state of awakening, where it's all beautiful and okay, just the way that it has been. Because it took everything for you to grow and understand into the human being that you are, in the I am of you. And so we leave you with that today. Now we'll go back to our prose. In all our hearts, we long for loving space in a place where we're honored within ourselves and with each. And then we honor the live stream of everything around us, that we find our truth. We learn to sing and sway and play rather than be in despair or strife. And we find the grace of being in a life that unfolds in the caress of our soul and brings us to a state of peace in ourselves and within each encounter that we have known. In the I am you of you is a recollection of every ancestor that walked his or her path, and they came to that understanding at some point in time where they understood that all of the complexities of life can lead you to a place of absolute freedom, to be who you are and know that you're okay, and that everything that has been and everything that will be is absolutely perfect for the divine path of you. This is what we wish for and bless you with today, in the grace of the planetary Tao, that you may come to that understanding as we continue to heal and sway with you for the coming 3 hours to 4 hours of the remainder of your day. So we invite you to rest. We invite you to be at peace. We invite you to meditate. We invite you to do which you need to in order to foster yourself into a deeper state of peace within you. So we wish you well. Namaste.